Hey there, Chad here for the AI Content Dojo, and in this video, I just want to kind of set some mindset around these AI writing tools, what you should expect, and another question that I get asked all the time is, will Google rank this AI content? So, you probably hear this, right? Like probably in some of the advertising, maybe others who are just in that moment where they're still super excited about these tools. And they're like, oh, it writes for you. It crushes writer's block. And you can do entire blog posts in minutes. I want to make sure after you hear all that and you're excited, it's okay. It's very cool. And it's right for you to be excited because these tools can bring about some really incredible capabilities. But I want to ground you. Because if you go into these tools thinking that they're going to do the work for you, there's going to be a problem. So I want to set some expectations for what these AI writing tools are going to do for you. They're not going to do all the writing for you. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. You know, if you go into Jarvis, for instance, and you say write a blog about working from home. And you run this command and you end up with some kind of content stuff. And you go, okay, 20 successful remote workers who do something. And you take this and you go, okay, cool, let me put that into the title. And then write an introduction, and you let Jarvis come up with some kind of introduction for this. And then, okay, cool. All right, sounds cool. Now you're like, wow, Jarvis is doing, he's making all kinds of content for me. Let me get rid of this. He's making all kinds of content for me, and I'm just going to hit, compose, and then let it write. And then I'm going to hit compose again. And it's actually way off the screen now, I'm going to hit compose again. And, this whole article, I'm already 200 words in. It's amazing. 224 words. Compose. I'm on medium output length. Let's put it pedal to the metal. Let's make it longer. Compose. I'm already 276 words into my blog post. This is incredible. Let's go over here. Compose. Come on, write for me, Jarvis. Write more for me. Come up here. Let me turn off my Grammarly here. Get that out of the way. So, okay, Jarvis is freaking out because I turned off Grammarly. Let me undo all that. Look at that. It even took away the title. That's a little buggy. But I'm kind of pushing Jarvis a little too hard maybe. So let's put that back. All right, so longer again. Yay. Secrets. I found a secret. I'll talk about that later. All right, so let's go back here. Compose. Let's keep going. 224 words, 240, 250, 260. I'm just blazing through this content. It's incredible. I've never seen anything so cool. This is kind of the mindset that a lot of people come up with these, or come into these tools with. And I just don't. If you're in the AI Content Dojo, or if you're watching this dojo content, I really want to make sure that you're going into these tools the right way, because you're just gonna, the content that you create has a purpose, right? And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But Jarvis and any of these AI tools, doesn't matter which one you are using, they all need guidance and direction from you. You're the writer. And this comes from research, right? Your topic, and you don't have to be a master of the topic, you've been doing it for 15 years and therefore writing about it is easy for you. No. You can do research to become, a certain level of proficiency in that topic and then write about it. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's human nature. It's the way we should work. Do research first, lay out our kind of ground rules for what we're going to write about, kind of build an outline, then write, kind of fill in the outline. Sort of a natural approach to writing, really. But these tools, you come into them and they're so automatic. You can push buttons and content comes out, and I just want to make sure that your content that you're creating serves its purpose, right? In fact, that you are being of service to your reader. I mean, ultimately, you're creating this content so that your reader can get something from you and then take action or buy a product or, join a service or something, right? Your content has a purpose. So that's what you should be thinking about from the moment you start writing your article. Even if you were going to write it completely manually, or if you're going to use this AI, the AI is not going to create that content for you in the way that you need to create it for your reader. It's not going to be able to make that connection. I should caveat to say that there are some niches out there that I would say they're more kind of artsy, kind of creative, or maybe fictional in a sense, spiritual or something. And they have a unique capability that once you kind of start Jarvis down the right path, it can kind of do a decent job of creating some kind of inspirational, creative content that it's not trying to focus on providing a real action for somebody, but it's to fulfill them in just reading. And even then, the writer should still be really involved to make sure that what's coming out of Jarvis or one of these AI tools like this is what the reader needs from it. So in other words, just be of service for your reader. Make sure that your content's actually producing for them, and you'll do just fine. In terms of doing this with Jarvis, okay, I'm 430 words in, and there's a few things to look out for, and I don't know if necessarily it did this right now. It's kind of generating some of this content so that I could show you a couple things. I want you to be sure that, this turns out it's an article where it's like full of people who are talking about their jobs, so it's kind of following that. But one of the things you got to be really careful for, right? Let's just cut this out here. Let's assume that this paragraph made a statement of fact. Of course, we all know, you probably know by now, that you got to check all the facts. And if you've researched the topic, or if you're already a master of that topic, that's easy. You kind of already know what to look for. It's when you don't know your topic and you're expecting the AI to take care of it for you that you end up leaving those false facts in your content. And you need to be very careful about those, because those will be things that Google can spot pretty easily. And they will probably then know that your content was AI written and probably do something about it in the future. As well they should. I mean, if you just generate AI content and don't pay any attention to it, it's probably right for Google to take care of that. So one other thing to think about, though, is let's say that this paragraph, says something like, no matter where you live, your occupation is, there's plenty of companies who allow for remote working. And then right in the next paragraph, it says, no matter where you live, whatever your occupation is, it's hard to find companies to allow for remote working. It'll do stuff like that, or it'll go back down to another paragraph and it'll talk about no matter where you are, there's plenty of companies, in different words, but it'll kind of say the same thing. So it kind of repeats itself as it goes through the content, or it will contradict itself. It'll tell false facts. And the crazy part is it's going to sound really confident in those, messed up facts. So you got to be really careful. But knowing your topic is how you take care of that. So just generating it, of course, you could end up with that, especially if you don't know your topic. But on the question of will Google rank it? No, Google is not going to rank something like this. But yes, Google can rank AI content, not this AI content, but the content that if you take the time to participate in the creation of the content, where you make Jarvis or any of these AI tools as your assistant to writing the article, where it augments your creativity or it augments your writing, kind of helps your performance. It doesn't create it all for you. Then you can end up in a situation where most of the content is either written by you, guided by you, or edited by you, right? So it's you, even though the AI was there to help a lot. I mean, you can think of that AI as not even AI. You could say that this was a junior writer that just sort of took some instructions from you and did some of the writing for you. And when that junior writer did it, maybe the junior writer makes mistakes or doesn't sound like you, and you go in and fix it. The quality line is high, right? The readers coming into your content, they have some expectations. So they're not just going to fall for, AI generated content, and probably 90% of the time, probably more like 95 or 96% of the time. So what that means is if you are coming in here to generate content, and you take this content and you bring it into your blog or wherever you're publishing it, you take all that time. I mean, it's not a lot, but you still have to, come in here, log in, generate a bunch of stuff, go over to your website, paste it in there, kind of, do whatever you need to do to finish your publishing. Once it's online, you got to probably tell people about it. You're spending some time to do that. It's not no time, right? And when you do that and your content gets ignored because Google's not going to rank it, what's the point? You just spend a whole bunch of time publishing something that's not going to get read anyway. That quality line, like I said, is pretty high. So you need to be able to at least come close to it. And that means paying attention to your content while you create it. And I'm kind of telling you all this because I want you, especially if you're brand new to these tools and you're just starting, this is perfect timing for you to watch a video like this, because I don't want you to waste your time. I don't want you to end up coming here thinking that you could have an article right now with 20 successful remote workers who managed to make it work. And it's just AI generated stuff with no research behind it, no narrative thread to carry the reader through it, nothing like that. And you don't pay any attention to what's created, and you end up with contradictions and mistakes and stuff like that. You don't want that in there, and I don't want you to waste your time. So please pay attention to this video. I know that this is probably going to be the one that you don't want to watch because it's not fancy, doesn't show you any cool things to do. Instead of that, I'm kind of saying, hey, even though you have this cool new AI tool, you still got to spend the time to create your content. The thing about content creation is the part you don't see is the massive amount of preparation that goes into it ahead of time. The years of mastery of your skills, or the research that you're doing on a topic by topic basis, that kind of stuff, the creation of your outlines, those things do come first. And people will show you videos that are like, oh, I created this blog in 15 minutes. It's possible that you can create blog posts faster, much faster. But that comes after you've already done all the work leading up to it. Either you're the master of it, or you've done a bunch of the research to know all the different things that you're going to talk about ahead of time. Lay them out. Use the AI to help you write through them quickly. Edit a little bit more, probably. Compare maybe to the other articles out there that rank already. Make sure you didn't miss anything. And then your content has a chance. Of course, there's a million different factors that go into Google ranking your stuff. But if you just AI generate stuff, you're going to end up in a situation where there's pretty much no chance that your content gets ranked, unless you're talking about like a 15-word long tail keyword that nobody searches for anyway. But that's the video for today. And please go out there, kick some butt with these tools, do it the right way, think ethically, and you're going to have an awesome time with them and produce fantastic content that your reader wants to read. Until next time, take care.